Last week, Kyiv became the latest city where Uber launched its operations. And joining me now to discuss how Uber was welcomed in Ukraine, as well as plans for future expansion, is the general manager for Uber in Ukraine, Mr. Arkady Vershebanyuk. Arkady, welcome to Ukraine today. So we have an Uber car here. Shall we take a ride?
Absolutely.
Let's
do that.
So Arkady, last week you launched Uber here in Ukraine. Can you tell us about the preparation process? How long did it take for Uber to enter the Ukrainian market? Because I remember several months ago, even if not a year ago, there was already a protest of regular taxi drivers in front of the Kyiv City Council protesting against Uber. So how long did it take?
Look, this is a very kind of interesting story because the first discussions around Uber entering the Ukrainian market happened at the end of 2013. Because obviously, Ukraine is a big country, Kyiv is a big city, and the company at that point in time already saw a lot of potential. Obviously, then you remember that very important things, very important events for the country took place during the winter and the spring of 2014, and kind of at that point. There was a switch to the other markets because of those events. But interestingly enough, in this late spring 2015, I came back to Uber saying, with an email saying, guys, I think it's a good time to launch because 3G is here. Because the situation in the country stabilized, and let's do it. And they came back to me and said, look, in fact we are thinking about launching, and that's how the discussion started basically. We're very glad that we had a very positive reception on on the side of all of the key stakeholders in the government. We had very productive meetings with the Ministry of Economics, including the minister and his team. We had good meetings with the Minister of Transportation. So our goal was basically not to put them in front of the fact that Uber is here, but rather to say, guys, we're looking at the country. We want to be here. We just want to let you know, and then kind of we want to operate within the country's framework.
But in the future, once Uber becomes more and more popular among the consumers, you'll have more strikes by the taxi drivers. And are you concerned that this may raise up to the point where Uber will be banned, as it is banned, as the application is blocked in some of the countries?
No, I don't have that concern for several reasons. One, and it's not something that it's a very well-known fact. Most of the taxi market here operates in a kind of gray area. Let's put it this way, right? And everybody knows it. If you saw the press conference during the launch, you saw the mayor consult with the people in the Kyiv city government on how many licenses are in fact have been issued in Kyiv and how many taxes have been paid by those license holders. It was not even funny, right? Even though we see lots of kind of taxis on the roads, which means most of those people, in fact, probably are not kind of exactly complying to all of the rules and the regulations. So, I would say our mission here is basically building on our global mission, and which is transportation as reliable as running water. So we want to make sure that every single citizen of Kyiv can basically open the app and get a car, right, in a few minutes. That's the ultimate goal. And I would rather see more and more drivers join the platform rather than protest against it, because at the same time we give this is an earning opportunity for for partners. So it's since we're a platform, we want to make sure that on one hand the riders can get a ride quickly and easily and safely, and on the other hand our partners can provide that service again in a fast and expedient manner, in a safe manner, and can make money.
Now that you've mentioned the drivers, how many drivers are you working right now, and what are your plans for expansion, let's say, until the year end, or if you have different time frames?
We don't disclose the exact figures, being a private company. What I can say is, we had a few thousands of people register as potential partner drivers even before we launched, which was completely great. This does not happen, in every market. Second is the drivers are they're joining the platform as we speak, literally. So our team are onboarding the drivers right now. One of the positive challenges, I would say, obviously, as always for Uber, especially during the period of the launch, is keeping up with the demand. So for sure, we want to have sufficient number of partner drivers on the platform, but we would not do that at the expense of the quality of the process, of the onboarding process. So we have certain process and procedures. We have the screening. We require certain documents from the drivers. We want to make sure we teach them how to use the platform, and we're not just kind of getting them into the office, signing some paper, and in 10 minutes they're done. We have to have a car inspection, so it takes some time. So we're not going to do that at the expense of the quality.
Arkady, we're now in an Uber car, and I'm pretty sure that most of our viewers are familiar with Uber, but still, could you please explain what is the difference between this Uber car and a regular taxi?
The key concept of Uber is putting together two sides, putting together the riders who want to take a ride by a car and the drivers who want to give that ride. Now, there are a few differences. First of all, for the drivers, they don't have shifts. They can work in as long as they want, in whatever time of the day or the day of the month that they want. We never kind of set any limits. They're not our employees. They're our partners, effectively, right? So someone can work full day, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. Another person may have that as an additional source of income, for 1 or 2 hours after their regular job. So from the driver perspective point of view, that gives them a lot of flexibility in what they want to do. Some people make that their profession. Some people make it their business. Some partners then basically go on and engage new drivers kind of under their umbrella and become kind of larger partners, because they see that this is a good opportunity for them to make money. Now on the rider side, again, the difference is you don't have to think in terms of like who will come to you, what does that person have a good or a bad ranking. The overall idea is you open the app, the app locates identifies your location. You just push a button, get me an Uber, and that's it. You don't think about anything else. So you don't think from the point of view of whether it's going to be secure or not. Is going to be, there are several standards of safety that are implemented in the app. You see the driver, you see the picture of the driver, you see the number plates of the car, you see the driver's ranking. So you have the idea, basically, right, that who's coming for you exactly.
Can we talk a little bit about your plans for the future? You
Sure.
did not want to discuss the current statistics. Let's talk about your plans. What are your plans for the future? I know that right now you have only option for Uber X in Ukraine. When Uber Black will be launched, will be available, other features?
Right. Well, I mean, one of the stats that I'm going to be gladly giving you over the 2 hours following the launch, we had about 12,500 of downloads. That's simply incredible. That set the record in EMEA as a region, basically. Now, if we talk about the plans and about the products, so we are always we never limit ourselves, right? So again, we want to be part of the fabric of the city, part of the transportation solution of the city. UberX, this is the kind of the core product that we're launching everywhere, simply because we want the transportation to be available to everyone. Even though we started with Black as a kind of premium service, we very quickly saw that the real demand is just from from the regular users, not from the premium users. What we think is if we can transport people, we can transport anything. And you may know that, for example, in terms of the next generation of future transportation, we have Uber Pool in some in established markets, and that's a fantastic product which saves which gets cars off the road, which gives opportunity for people to pay even less for their rides.
Do you plan to launch that in Ukraine as well?
We'll see. That's always launched on more established markets when there is sufficient UberX penetration and people are used to using UberX. We never limit ourselves, obviously. Now again, in the States we have the Uber Eats, which is a fantastic service when you get your food delivered to you in 10 minutes. And again, there is I don't see a problem of launching of Uber Eats coming to Kyiv someday. But just give us time. I mean, we're here. We've been here for only 4 days, right?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, we'll be a lot of opportunities there, and we'll be definitely following the developments of your company really closely. Arkady, many thanks for finding the time to take a ride in your Uber car with us here. And yeah, we look forward to talking to you again.
Likewise. Thanks so much. Thanks for inviting me.
We were discussing the recent launch of Uber in Kyiv in this Uber car, together with the general manager for Uber in Ukraine, Mr. Arkady Vershibanyuk. I'm Volodymyr Solohub. Thank you for watching Ukraine Today.